of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Aaron. Braverman.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
Bilski.
Here.
Perry. Here. Cluter.
Yes.
Duper.
Yes. Can I have a motion to excuse Ron Barron from the March 13, 2019 council meeting?
Second. Yeah.
Braverman.
Look over here.
Klein.
Yes.
Bilski.
Yes.
Perry. Yes. Cluter.
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. Now we're going to open the public hearings regarding ordinance 2019-5 and ordinance granting a rear yard setback variance to Suzanne Thomish for her property located at 128 Orange Lake Drive, Orange Village, Ohio. Is there anybody who would like to speak on that? Randy, do you want to? If you'd like to, you can go to the microphone over there. We're formal now.
To be here. I'm Randy Curtis. I'm building the home for for Suzanne Tomsick. It backs up to an area at the lakes that drops off into a ravine. She has trouble walking and uses a walker and a wheelchair. So putting in a patio was not something in the cards back there, so it had to be a deck. And when the foundation of the deck was put in, we discovered that it really wasn't that large, although it looked large on the paper when it was drawn. So we're requesting a variance to go back into the rear yard setback. There's nobody that lives back there. It's common area owned by the association, and next door is my model home. And from the association, I've already approved it. From the developer, I've approved it. And as the builder, I'm requesting it on their behalf. So it's really because even if they put a small deck and then try to go down to a patio, they'd be shoving the patio, if they had to, in the neighbor's yard as opposed to going back from the house.
Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? Anyone? Okay. All right, thank you. If there's no other comments, we'll close the public hearing. And we will open the public hearing regarding the request for 5 sign variances by University Hospitals located at 3909 Orange Place, Orange Village, Ohio. Is there anybody here who'd like to speak on that? If not, we will close that public hearing as well. Can I have a motion to approve the special council meeting minutes of March 6, 2019?
So moved.
Thank you. Second. Second. Thank you, Judd. Anybody have any comments on the minutes? Okay. Carl, Anna.
Braverman.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Bilski.
Yes.
Perry. Yes. Cluter.
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. Can I have a motion to award the bid for the village facilities renovation project to the Sterling Professional Group in the amount not to exceed $232,570?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Sure.
This motion, item 7 and item 8 need, are separate components, but all the same project. And there's one other component that is not before you tonight, which will probably be in the $20,000 to $30,000 range, and that's the IT. We got the details, but we haven't sorted through it, so we'll bring that to you the first meeting next month so that it doesn't hold the project up. And this is a project that we had budgeted $400,000 for, and these things total under $300,000, so.
Anybody have any comments? Do you want to come up and speak to that?
We actually, here's how it went. We advertised it January 30th, and we called for a walkthrough where we asked builders to come. And on February 15th, they came in and they did a walkthrough of both facilities to see what the project was like.
In that day?
Pardon me?
How many came for the walkthrough?
8. Okay. Bids were due March 1st. We got 2 bidders ended up bidding on the project. One was Brooks and Henderson. They were $367,000 plus. Interesting enough, they were house builders trying to get into the commercial business. Used to making a big buck, apparently, in the house business. Sterling was the winning bid, so I was a little concerned, actually, because there was such a difference between the high and the low, and that's all we had was 2 bids. So both Steve and I went through the list that they gave us of jobs that they've done, and we contacted not the actual people that they worked for, because that usually doesn't work, actually. We contacted the architects that did the project, and both architects thought they did a terrific job. So that sounded real good. Then they sent us their AIA documents on list every job they've had since 2000, I think, 14 or 15. Quite a list. They worked for the Shaker Heights school system. They've done some pretty nice jobs, and this is a tough job to make any money on for a contractor. Plus, we had 68 pages of front-end documents, I think. A job like this, like this thick, which scared a lot of guys.
There's also a $40,000 contingency in the, $30,000 contingency.
There is within it, there's a $30,000 allowance for us, in case something comes up, whatever, but
Could be less.
Is that built into the 232,000, or is that over and above the 230?
Does this include the path that goes to the other building? No.
Motion.
Okay.
we're still below the 400.
Well, I asked the question, in the past, from time to time, we've gotten very few applications or sufficient bids, I guess. We've reissued a second request for the same project. Is there a legal reason for that, or just?
I think we rejected all bids when we were not comfortable that we had a lowest and best bidder. I think,
Above the engineer's estimate?
Can you use the phrase lowest and best when you have one bidder? Yeah. I guess that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, very qualified, what we could tell.
I'm not trying to.
By, an opportunity, actually.
Curious about I guess what I would call the legalities of the custom of how
you have discretion to determine the lowest and best bidder, even if there's just one. And I think both Ron and I have a comfort level based on what we've investigated with these folks.
Actually, we had them come back. We had them come back, I did, and we did another walkthrough. It's a female ownership, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So, of course you want it. And we did another walkthrough. Bob Zucco was there, Bob McLaughlin was there, and we did it one more time after we had their bid, just to make sure that we were comfortable with them. And they asked all the right questions. I think they'll do a great job. There's no reason to go anywhere else.
The project is really not all that complicated. It's got lots of steps to it.
The biggest problem is that we have to move the building department out of theirs, build their space. Can't touch this until they're out and in.
Right.
So it's not going to run smooth for any builder.
That's,
Back, it starts all over again. So
to build out the police.
that's the kind of job that everybody, and everybody's so busy now, by the way.
That's probably more of the reason why you didn't get a lot of bidders, is that it's a pieces parts kind of project, and with lots of things, like you just said, you got to throw it up in the air, run underneath it, and catch the ball. And right now, the marketplace is just jamming.
Can't. Well, I think we're just lucky we found somebody who wanted to do this. Good price, within our budget. Could be better.
Okay, I understand what you're standing behind these folks, and that's important, because all I'm really saying is, because the market is busy, and the lowest and best single bid comes in, if it's not the right one, we should be concerned about it.
Why are you saying only one came in, 2 came in?
Well, the one was eliminated.
Yeah, it didn't have a bid bond or something.
Well, okay, so
Well, plus his price was $360,000. Other than that,
Gives you another point of reference.
There's a price differential.
I suppose you could say that.
Well, I guess I'm not understanding. What's your concern?
The concern is just a matter of process. I'm not so concerned about these folks. But then the next 3 steps to the project, I assume we don't put out we work strictly with them. But those 3 steps covered the whole all the next.
It's one project, but the way they have to do it is in bite sizes.
And that's how it was.
I would say we vetted this. I didn't do it, but I think the research and the touring and all that went on is almost better than bids we usually get on, random projects. I mean, they really worked with them closer.
That's all I'm asking about.
Let's just hope they,
That is
everything they say.
the law director that I'm.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning Sterling so much.
Perfectly, we complied with the law, and, your charter and ordinances require you to do what you did it, and you did yield only one bidder. It happens that you can determine it to be the lowest and best, and that's the recommendation from both the architect and, I think, Bob, are you also comfortable on this?
How many pages was in the legal documents that we had to do on this job?
64 or 68, I don't
I think
remember.
that scared a lot of bidders away too on a residential sized project.
I just, most people are gonna get their grass cut, they get 2 or 3 bids. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
That's a problem.
They have,
they had 2 bids. You had 2 bids, it just, the one bid,
Well, it came to look into it.
but when submission came, there were 2 bids at the opening, and one was certainly a lot better, and they were highly qualified to do the work.
I understand, but the other one didn't qualify.
well, he didn't come up with a bid his bond.
The requirements, so I'm simply saying, better how you spell, are we looking at one bid or accepting it? That's staff resource.
How you want to view it, then view it that way. Is there any other concerns on that?
The only concern is that we're looking only at one bid. That's the only concern.
Well,
Obviously.
okay, fine. Is that a concern? If it's a concern for you, then you can vote no on this.
I know.
Okay. All right. Any other comments? Okay. Any other questions, anyone? If you'd call roll, please.
Braverman?
No.
Klein? Yes. Bilski?
Yes.
Harry? Cluter?
Yes.
Huber?
Yes. And can I have a motion to award the bid for the village facilities renovation project furnishings to Discount Desk and Office Supply, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $21,198? Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Did you all get the copies of what this is?
You didn't give me that until after.
It's the detailed list of how many desks, how many cabinets, how many chairs.
We met with Lieutenant, Sergeant, several times actually on the furniture. We met with Bob and Karen, and we went through all the different furnitures, books and everything, and
I think it's a good idea for the council to see what we're voting on before we vote on it. I mean, as a matter of process, I'm not suggesting that, since I haven't seen it, I'm not.
I mean, I don't disagree with you on that we should see this. So we'll come back to this.
Okay.
So will you make a copy of that for us, please? All right.
I got that, and I'll take responsibility for not thinking to forward it to Anna to include in the packets.
All right, so let's move on from there. We'll come back to that. Can I have a motion to award the bid for the site improvement project for 4680 Lander Road to TC Construction Company in the amount of $32,122.20. This is for the construction only.
This is for the outdoor work. This is the, Brian Mader bid this. This is for the concrete work, for the parking and the pathway connecting to here, and Brian can speak more detailed than.
It's just in no order.
Yeah, with this project, we decided to, rather than bid it with the building improvement and having a inside guy basically mark up site contract work, that we would just break this out as a separate element and put it in as its own separate bid. We put this out to 4 contractors that we're very comfortable with, including the contractor that's currently working up and down Lander Road. 3 of them did get the bid back, came in just under the engineer's estimate. Don't know what else to say. These are people we've dealt with all the time. That's why we put it out to them.
Well, my usual question is, how well do you know TC?
Very well.
Okay.
I mean, these were 4 contractors that we selected to send it to.
Oh.
So,
Any comments, concerns, questions? All right, if you would call roll, please.
We have a motion. We didn't have a motion.
Get the motion yet? Okay, is there a motion?
Just give me my copy.
Make a motion?
Second.
Thank you.
And who seconded?
Yes. Give you 5 guesses.
Yeah. I would have been the second Aaron Burr.
Braverman?
Yes.
Bilski? Yes. Harry? Yes. Krueger?
Yes.
Fine, I missed you.
Yes.
I'm not looking at an angle. Thank you.
Okay, everybody has a copy of the discount desk and office supply quote. If you have questions on this, take your time.
I have a question for Chief. Are there any other things that are on a wish list beyond this, or is this everything that you need for the foreseeable future?
For the offices?
Yeah.
For the offices themselves, we're just talking about the furnishings that you got in front.
Yeah.
There's no more room to put anything else in there if I did want it.
Will you do the shopping for this one?
No, thanks for asking.
Who did?
My girl over there went around.
When did you put this together?
Well, you worked with Lieutenant Callahan and
They came here.
We come to the mic, please. Sorry.
Steve Marks, I don't know if anybody knows Steve Marks in the discount desk. Yeah, I mean, I work with Ohio Desk and RCF and all these companies. And although I talk to them about the job, they can't come close to these numbers. He can get it for us. I do a lot of work with Steve from the Hebrew Academy, and they buy all their desks from him.
who picked out the furniture for the police department?
Lieutenant and the sergeant.
Sergeant.
Oh, yeah, the uniform.
I said it's going to be their offices, so why would they not make a selection of this?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
office furniture from them, and they have the best prices that I've seen in town. Seriously.
Good prices.
Just good people.
And they selected them, and then Karen and Bob McLaughlin selected the ones for their offices. We just guided them as to where to make
Line showing where it's,
doors, all that kind of
No
stuff.
problem with nothing on the list. I'm just saying, I don't like voting on something.
We got it. So we got it.
no one's arguing.
No, well, I mean,
We got it. So
I'm sorry you didn't have this.
it's okay. Problem resolved.
I was out of town.
Problem resolved. It's not a big deal. Everybody.
He was riding Dumbo.
Does anybody have any? Does anybody have any productive comments or questions? Okay. We already had a motion in a second, so let's call roll, please.
Braverman? Klein?
Yes.
Bilski?
Yes.
Harry? Cluter?
Yes.
Yes. I was not referring to you as unproductive. Okay, moving on. Can I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report for fiscal year 2019 through January? Thank you. I'll second it. Beat you. Hi there.
President's prerogative.
Good evening. January 31st, 2019, you have the cash account summary that shows $8,724,279 in our bank account with all of our various accounts. And then I did a summary of the monthly and year-to-date activity through January. Revenues was $1,500,000. $543,000. Our expenditures for January was $2,459,000. Primarily, the expenditures are higher as a result of us paying for basically 2 months' worth of expenditures. 201, the street maintenance, and 202, that was primarily because of salt purchases for the 2 months for December and January. Police pension fund is because of the pensions from December and January. The debt service, you'll see that that was the refinancing that we did that was approved last year. The capital improvement was the rec trails. The infrastructure was the 2008 road program. So those were just some of the large expenditures that we had in January. The next piece that I gave you was the revenue and expenditures through January 31st for the general fund only. We're at 8% of the year. Our general fund revenues are at 8%. Again, some of the expenditures were annual expenditures plus the December and January expenditures. So for example, in the fire department, there was the annual hydrant fee, so that was the expense for operating expense that is for the whole year, but it was paid in January. Rubbish is, for example, the 2 months again. So I can answer any questions if you notice anything on there that you would like to ask, but that was basically, I reviewed everything, and those were basically the reasons.
Anybody have any comments, questions?
I guess I have, and it's maybe just an accounting issue more than anything else. Under the expenditures, under the 1011, all the expenditures, essentially, the salaries, wages, and so on, are like 8-9%, and the fringe benefits and the operating expenses are 10 and 15%. Why are those inconsistent with the overall?
Some of the fringe benefits we're paying from December.
Oh,
You're
okay.
paying quarterly on some of the things, and you're not paying, it's not the same periods of time.
Okay.
Some of it's not like 1/12, like the police salaries. I think they got a clothing allowance.
Yeah.
You know, so there's some things that are not.
Well, when you jump down to the fire, you have an operating expense that's 35% of the year.
Traveled to South Dakota to look at the fire truck.
Oh, that's right, they did.
So we might have spent, you know, like a whole year's worth of something in the first month.
Okay.
Liability insurance, we pay the whole thing.
Okay.
So it makes the first few months look off.
Ask and answer.
For example, the operating in the fire department, as I had mentioned, there was the annual hydrant fee that was around $10,000, so that was paid, but it's an annual fee, so it's paid once a year. So that's why you're going to see that line item skewed.
Good job.
Same question in finance tonight, and you know, the explanation of a lot of expenses, extra expenses incurred in January, especially with the police department, and the salary, so we're not.
Where's council's operating expense at 72%?
Will even itself out.
Why is council's operating expense at 72%? Where are we going? Did we go to North Dakota?
Dues, that's most of your expenses for the year.
Oh,
The codified ordinances were in the encumbrances in that department.
okay.
Anything else?
So we can't go on.
Right, if you would call roll, please.
Sabbatical.
Braverman? Klein?
Yes.
Bilski?
Yes.
Harry? Luter?
Yes.
Huber?
Yes. And can I have a motion to approve the tax administrator's report of February 28th, 2019? I'll make.
So moved.
Thank you, I'll second you.
Flip it.
Dana, if you would, please.
Yes, you have the tax administrative report for the month of February. Our gross tax collected for February was $482,000 compared to last year's $276,000. So for February, we have an increase of almost $206,000. As I had reported in previous months. We've been working hard on getting collections for some back periods, and we're starting to see that. They're not 100% caught up, but we're seeing the trend. So we're going in the right direction. So compared year-to-date this year to last year, we're $150,000 ahead of where we were at the same point last year. So we're doing well, but I do want to let you know that Rita told me they do have a lot more that they're still processing. So I anticipate that we'll have some good numbers next month as well.
Are they still working on the payout from Pinecrest and getting that straightened out, or is that?
Some of these revenues are some of the processes of those that have paid quarterly, and they're working on that as well. So we're moving in the right direction.
Is there anybody giving you a hard time?
No, I think the hard time is just getting the right people and getting the payroll companies to get the information corrected. And that's where Rita's been really working on getting that, so. Rita does most of the work. I take phone calls here. I have had several companies calling me to make sure that they're reporting it in the right community, so.
All right, if you would call roll, please.
Waverman.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Bilski.
Yes.
Yes.
Huber.
Yes, moving to discussion of the bills to be paid in the month of March in the amount of $377,277.06, and additional February expenses in the amount of $99,933.80. Does anybody have any comments or concerns or questions?
Our capital improvements, most of $206,000 of it.
Anyone?
I guess I'm missing it. Are the fees for the services provided to produce the documents for the new building department and police department improvements, are those in this, or are they at all?
The permit fees?
No, the consultant's fees.
Ron Kluchent?
Yeah.
Oh, we've been paying him all along.
So that probably was already paid, I would assume, right?
Paying him since he started looking at it. I don't recall that he got a payment in this month, though.
Okay.
Something that you wondered?
No, I just didn't see anything, and I assumed there would.
No, but we've been paying him.
Okay. I want to make sure the architects get paid. I want to make sure the architects get paid.
You're not worried about what we're paying, it's what we're not paying.
All right, moving on to audience comments relating to agenda items only. Anyone? Okay.
It's a fact.
Let's move on to old business, pending legislation and motions. I have a motion to adopt the conclusions of fact for ordinance 2019-5. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Lisa was...
Okay.
She really wasn't.
All right.
Who wants it?
Okay. Anybody have anything on the conclusions of fact? Okay, if you'd call roll, please.
Waverman.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Bilski.
Yes.
Perry. Yes. Cluter.
Yes.
Duber.
Yes, and I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 2019-5, an ordinance granting a rear yard setback variance to Suzanne Thomish for her property located at 128 Orange Lake Drive, Orange Village, Ohio. This is on for third reading.
Second.
Thank you. Comments? Roll, please.
Waverman.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Bilski.
Yes.
Perry. Yes. Cluter.
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. Moving on to new business, ordinance 2019-9, an ordinance correcting sections 1 and 2 of ordinance number 2018-51 and the agreement between Orange Village and Singerman Mills, Desberg, and Counts Co-LPA, and declaring an emergency. Steve, would you like to discuss why this is being...
Conclusion of fact for
Ordinance that's being amended
2H?
made an error, and it was an error.
What made an error?
The ordinance
The ordinance drafter made an error on his own pay? Okay.
Okay, we haven't got there yet, all right.
Okay.
Realize it.
It was to the benefit of the village, so $500 a month was left out of the original agreement. I can drop on my knee if you want me to and ask that you increase the salary. Lisa's nodding yes, she wants to see me on my knee.
He wanted to make this change retroactive, and he said no. He said he's going to take the hit for his own failure
It was
to...
my own error, and I'm happy to contribute to the bottom line of the village, so. I'll eat a little humble pie, it's not so bad if you put a little ketchup on it.
It's costing him.
And I'd request that you suspend the rules and approve the ordinance and the revised agreement.
I'll make a motion to suspend. Is there a second? Thank you, Lisa. Any comments on suspension? Do we call roll, please?
Braverman? Klein?
Yes.
Bilski?
Yes.
Perry?
Yes.
Luder?
Yes.
Duber?
Yes, and I will make a motion to pass ordinance 2019-9. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments? Okay, if you'd call roll, please.
Braverman?
Yes.
Klein?
Yes.
Bilski?
Yes.
Perry?
Yes.
Luder?
Yes.
Duber?
Yes.
Thank you.
We learned a lesson now, didn't we? And can I have a motion to adopt the final order and conclusions of fact for 5 signed variances pursuant to the request of University Hospitals for its property located at 3909 Orange Place, Orange Village, Ohio?
Moved.
Is there a second? I will second it. Does anybody, we talked about this previously, does anybody have any comments on this?
No, but the signs that we have previously approved before tonight have been changed, and the Minkoff's name is on it.
Minoff.
Yes. Steve sent it,
Was it? Yes.
This is the UH.
Got it sent out the same
and there was a letter from Dave Hart, too.
Yeah.
Here.
Yes.
Where's both of them?
To both addresses that I have from everybody, the Orange Village address and to the other addresses.
Oh, am I supposed to send to Orange?
So,
The law director.
Do you need a copy, Herb, to review?
I sent it.
It's been reviewed by Planning Commission and recommended to council for approval.
If you would call roll.
Braverman?
Yes.
Did you see that?
Klein?
Oh, you have it right there.
Bilski?
Yes.
Perry?
Abstain.
Luder?
Yes.
Duber?
And moving on to audience comments relating to matters which advance the good of the village. Mr. Audience Member, nothing? And we'll go to committee reports and comments by council members. Mrs. Perry.
I am pleased to announce that the garden plots have completely sold out already this year. Are going to be beginning our monthly garden meetings in April, second week of April. If anybody's interested. And a reminder, is there an upcoming lecture here at Village Hall on organic fertilizers? I thought it was here.
Heritage Homes.
Heritage Home is on April 6th. I don't think there is one. Is that the email I sent to you?
Fertilizers?
Yeah, but it's not here.
Oh, okay.
April 6th, it's April 4th, the Heritage Home one here.
Looked
Well,
it
it's
up
April
before.
4th.
If anybody's interested, it should be interesting. Let me know.
Going?
I think I'm working.
That's funny.
No comments on
So I have a few questions for Chief Costura. If residents fill out the Do Not Knock registry link, which I've gotten a lot of very positive feedback, is that coming to your office or your department? Or
Get it
where does that
online.
actually go, the Google Doc?
I think he actually answered that better than I, because.
I have a list here of all the addresses from the e-news we just sent out last weekend. 79 people have signed up.
Yes.
And that went on Friday.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Only 3 business days.
On the front page of our next community newsletter that will be going out in the next couple weeks.
Okay. I've gotten,
And where it goes, though.
yeah, I wanted to know
It
who,
goes to Google Docs. It goes to Christine in the police department and myself. Just
so
as
is the process then that when somebody goes to apply for a permit, you'll give them the latest and greatest list and?
And we get a little sign.
Okay.
We get a little, oh, that'll be lovely.
Next week, they are on order.
You put it next to the one where the dogs,
Absolutely. Don't you make a laugh? People are appreciative of that.
Restrictions kick in?
So
Have
stop.
we received any more feedback? I know originally you said no. Nobody, the letters went out to the businesses and nobody had actually.
I'm aware of hearing from was Lakeshore Learning, that they brought their bags in to see if they were compliant, and you guys said they were not.
Well, they were plastic, so no.
Right.
Yeah.
Really nice. Really.
Yes, and they do a good
Oh,
job
and also the
littering pretty.
pet the what is the
Oh, yeah.
the animal hospital. I did try calling him back. I left him a message twice, and he hasn't called me back. No, not Howard. The other one that's.
But effective April 1st, there will be a method for enforcement if somebody complains that.
Complains, it goes right to the police department.
He never wanted that originally.
be taking them out.
He didn't want that originally.
My last question is for Mr. Zugan. So can you explain to everybody the process from here on out for the other alternatives, or what's going on with the recreational trails?
Yes.
Like from the Villas of Orange to Brainerd and that, where the process stands right now?
Process is everything is on the website. Letters have been sent to all those residents, waiting for feedback. Once we get the feedback, the engineer's office has designed those alternates already. So what we're allowing is a time period where they can review them. If everything's good, then the engineer knows to proceed forward as planned. This gives the opportunity for the residents to ask questions, and we can alter it before we do a final drawing. So that's in place. We've had a number of people that have responded via website that they're okay with it. We've actually met with somebody today, which was an additional to the alternate. It happened to be in the Snowbrook area, but we're in the process of getting that to where we can move forward, design plan, get numbers back from the contractor.
And that was my question for, as far as the contractor, do we have to open up that whole process for, or can we go to the existing contractor?
Or the alternate areas were part of the bid.
Okay.
So they've already bid those portions. We added 2 extra segments, which we'll get a quote from them on those 2 segments. Because we weren't sure at the very beginning of the project if we were going to do the alternate, they were put into the project to be completed at the end because we knew we had to go through this process of talking to the residents. So, I mean, those are all designed to be done after everything else is done.
And there's one other piece that's still not finalized, and that's the portion east of Lander on Harvard, Hiram Trail.
I was just going
I
to ask
have
you.
a meeting next week with Mayor Renda, the school superintendent, and the Hiram House Camp people. Maybe it's the week after next, sometime this month, to see if we can make that last 200-foot in Moreland Hills. Mayor Renda was agreeable to it. I know she brought it up with her council, but the question came up again that there's an agreement from Hiram House Camp that they put in when they put that emergency road that it wouldn't be used. I'm hoping they're not going to apply this to it, but we have a meeting to see. Dr. Campbell was incredibly positive and encouraging about wanting to draw kids to do that, but Hiram House Camp might kibosh it. If they do, I'm not sure that we'll do the section east of Lander at all, or we'll just drop it off 200 feet before the driveway. I mean, I don't know what we'll think about that.
And there are only half a dozen residents or something like that, right?
But yeah, if we can't get all the way to the school drive, the question is, do we do the portion to the municipal line? I think that only covers how many houses? 3, 4? 5. Well, don't count the one in the corner, because they'll have Lander. So
If
that's a piece is still a little bit,
funds are there and we don't use them, there's no, right.
Right.
So there's no disincentive for us to do it for that small number?
Under the 5, and we are. I recently did the count. I took the list of everything we had expended before we got the 5 million and went through it, quickly noting how much of it is part of the 5 million and how much of the costs were associated with financing, which is plus 5 million, in addition. Most of it is part of the 5 million, but we're not close yet. And we have a big contingency in the thing, so we can do all of them.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Klein?
Comments at this time?
Ms. Kluter?
And the expected guesstimate for the trails to be opened is when? When?
To be completed?
Yeah.
I mean, like, this portion.
No, I mean, finished.
Completed all the way around, it's.
2 years?
This fall.
Oh, okay, because people have been asking me, and I wasn't sure I'd find out. Okay, thank you. And I thought, if you didn't know already, the Red House, I heard vicariously that the lot has been sold.
Yeah. But they have to deal with the Corps of Engineer about the wetlands or something.
The wetlands and it's damp-ish. It's a damp lot. But I heard that it went to a young couple in Pittsburgh with children who are eager to purchase it, so I don't know if that's true or not.
I knew somebody who wanted to buy it, but it was purchased ahead of them.
Oh, I don't know. This is what I heard on the road, yes. I just thought, if the Red House came down, if we're building a new house, that's even more wonderful. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Mayor, comments?
I made most of my comments, so I'll just advise everybody that Cindy Wiley has stepped down from serving as our representative to the Orange Community Ed and Recreation Board. I think she was there 5-6 years. And she has been replaced as our representative to John Driscoll. He's actually starting soon. I saw him yesterday. They're starting soon. So he's taking over for Cindy Wiley, and he represents us. We have had complications. We've all lived with a zip code that doesn't say Orange Village, but with Pinecrest, that 44122 really became a hassle in a lot of different ways, taxes, so many ways. So we started about a year ago, actually Pinecrest started before that, to lobby the post office to allow Orange Village to be a last line designation for the zip code, so that Orange Village could be recognized in that zip code. And Sherrod Brown wrote a letter in support of it. Unfortunately, Sherrod Brown made a mistake and asked the postal office to give us a new zip code, which is not what we were asking. We were asking just for last line designation. We have 3 already. And then Congresswoman Fudge wrote a letter to the postmaster asking for relief for us or change, and they denied it. And then Paul Singerman and I and Anna went to meet with the postal people, the ones that made these decisions, and they gave us some really strange reasons why it just made no sense to any of us. So the only option that left us was an appeal process, and we, today, Steve gave me a draft of the appeal letter that he's writing. This is the last step we can take. It's the final thing we can do, but we're doing it, and I think the letter's very compelling, Steve, but we'll see if we can be acknowledged to exist.
And we are changing from what to what? What do we do?
All we want is when you say 44122, that Orange Village is a choice.
Oh, I see. You just put Orange Village down. Yeah, okay. That's good.
Everybody thinks you live in Beechwood.
Chagrin Falls or Beechwood.
Because they told everyone at Pinecrest they had to say Beechwood. And I called the postmaster up and I said, I talked to her and she said, Pinecrest is in the Orange Village section of Beechwood. I said, there is no Orange Village section of Beechwood. But it was infuriating.
Is this the same for Chagrin Falls?
Yeah.
So we have the same designation?
Well, Steve included it in the letter. I'm really focused on 122, but if we get it for one, maybe we'll get it for the other. I don't know.
It would make sense if you're going to do it, that you do it for all.
Oh, yeah.
We have about, how many houses in the 128? 5, 6? How many houses?
There's a lot in the 022, though.
Oh, yeah. Most. So he's addressing that in the letter, but that wasn't really what prompted this fight. So that's all I have.
So is that a request in the letter, though, is for that as well? Okay.
Something like fighting the post office
All right, any other comments?
Anything else I'm supposed to say?
on Brexit.
Chief Wilson, I mean, I haven't even heard. How's the new fire truck?
Killing families.
Our dealer today or yesterday, depending on the weather. It left South Dakota on Monday, so it's probably there now, so I'll get a call tomorrow.
You went up there and it was everything you hoped it would be?
We had 32 things that we wanted them to fix on it, which is, I guess, is not a lot. And they finished that in a week and left on Monday. So it should be.
He's on the Finance Committee.
Volunteer for you who would like to drive it from Canton for you?
Member of the finance department's very eager to get that gig. And we have not sold the old one yet, right?
No, we haven't declared it surplus until we get the new one, so it'll probably be next month we declare it surplus.
It's worth more than 1,000.
We should wait till we get it before we sell it.
I was thinking of buying it, but I'd have to put on an addition, variance for an addition.
To adjourn,
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
please.
Berman,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Bilski,
Hard yes.
Terry. Yes. Buder.
Yes.
They can't seem to.
Yes, I said hard yes.
It's a power, it's a war.
Families are not talking